Hey everybody, it's Jasmine. So today I'm going to share with you guys my November hits and misses. Now I don't have a lot in general to really talk about, but I do have a small accumulation that I did want to mention just because I feel like, you know, it's a good accumulation, but it's not anything real special because in all honesty, I'm still using the things that I was using last month and the month before. Nothing really new except for just a few items. So I just want to start off with blush because this isn't necessarily marketed as a blush item. This is actually a highlighter. This one is a ShopMissA pressed highlighter in the shade Throne. I think that this smoothed out onto the skin and sheared out looks really good. This shade in particular has a really strong rose gold hue. So when it is sheared out, yes, it does look really shimmery and yes, it can emphasize texture, but once it's really buffed into the skin, it looks really natural. And then when your highlights paired on top of it, it looks extra beaming. So that's why I really like it. I do have a full review on their new released highlighters as well if you want to see that. But this one by far in the collection, in their pressed highlighters, I think that this one stands out to me the most. I finally got a chance to try this moisturizer. I've been eyeing it for almost a whole entire year. I always walked into Sephora and I said, you know, I'm gonna buy that one day. And you know, today it was, actually it wasn't today. I bought it like 3 months ago, but I never used it. But I finally used it this month and it's the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. And I heard a lot of people actually don't like this. Everybody said, oh, I bought it because it smelled like watermelon, which low-key me too, but I just wanted a good gel moisturizer. And typically with me, I don't just go with one moisturizer. I typically go in with like 3, but you know, that's just me being extra and that's just me trying to use up my skincare. But I like this because there has been nights where I just used this on its own and I felt like it sunk into my skin very well and I had no issues with my skin feeling excessively dry. So I actually really like this and I prefer gel moisturizers over any other type of moisturizers because it doesn't clog pores. It's great on every single skin type, even if you're oily. This one is water-based so it won't make you feel any oilier. Now this whole entire month, in my tutorial specifically, you guys have been seeing me use the Laura Geller Gilded Honey as my blush or as a pre-highlight, and I genuinely just really like this because I don't use this as a highlight alone because it's a little too dark for my skin. So what I do to get use out of my darker golden highlights is to actually just apply it on the apples of my cheeks, and I feel that it looks really bronzy and glowy, and I have been really into that. Just a really nice glowy cheek. And actually my face has been on for a really long time, so I'm not sure if you're able to catch it, especially with this background. I don't know, she kind of washes me out, but I really like this stuff and I definitely traveled with it. The packaging is definitely broken because I dropped it, but nonetheless, I think it's really good, and if you get the chance to buy it on sale at Ulta, then I highly recommend it. This lip combination in particular doesn't pertain to this month. This actually goes for like 3 months because it's something that I consider my ride or die, long-lasting lip. And if you saw my last tutorial, which is pretty much this face, if you saw my last tutorial, then you guys heard about me talking about this. It's pretty much the BH Cosmetics Waterproof Lip Liner, my #1 lip liner of all time, followed up with the CoverGirl Major Shade Liquid Lipstick in the shade Cakewalk. This one has to be my favorite drugstore liquid lipstick in general because I feel like it doesn't dry down too crusty, and even with Nude, sometimes you get that little butthole mark where it's a little bit lighter, and I don't know, I don't like that, but this actually goes on really nice. It's very similar to the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, but this one has a little bit more of a liquidy texture. And then to top that off, I actually do go in with the Soft Matte Lip Cream, and this one's in the shade London. I just like the combo because everything literally locks in and it doesn't feel crusty even if you kiss, even if you eat, even if it's cold outside. It literally lasts all day and it looks real good. My last hit of the month is actually something that one of my good friends, Carly, made. She's actually a subscriber of mine and she makes her own products. I have her Instagram down below, but this is her highlight right here, Mary Poppin. I do have it on my cheeks right now and I love this highlight so much. I always forget to talk about it because it's actually in a palette instead of, you know, a singular item like this, but I have been using it for a really long time and I use it on, I don't want to say a day-to-day basis, but I do use it weekly. So I really want to give this a shout out. And if you're really into indie brands, people who make their own products with natural ingredients, and I highly recommend checking it out, and I highly recommend just supporting my girl Carly. And that's pretty much all of my hits. I mean, that was a really short accumulation. And as for misses, I have 3 items. So while I was at Disneyland, I thought, you know what? I have pretty flat feet, so I'm gonna need some type of shoe insert. And I settled on these. These ones were like $4, and I have no idea what the brand is. It doesn't really have a brand, but it says it's a Tri-Balance Advantage. So the front has a cushion comfort, the second one has an arch support, and then the third one is anti-shock. I don't know what that means, but you know, I went with it. And this part right here, this little arch support, is so hard on my flat little feet that the whole day, like even from the morning, the arch of my foot just felt like it was forced to be in this position that it normally isn't in because my foot is flat. So it was just forcing this arch, and I just felt so uncomfortable. And it got to the point where at the end of the day, I actually had to take these out of my shoe, and I was wearing really comfortable shoes. I was wearing my NMDs. So you know, I just don't recommend these, and I wish that I did a little bit more research on shoe inserts before I purchased it. So, you know, I don't recommend these cheapo depot ones. I have 2 brushes that I really don't recommend, and one is actually by Sigma. This is their small duo fiber brush, the F55, and I've been using this for about a week, and I just don't like it for blush application. I know a lot of people use this for blush, and some people use dual fiber brushes for highlights, but this one's actually way too big for a highlight. Some people use it for powder, like all over the face, or bronzer. I just can't get by this one bit, because one, I just feel like once I apply it to the skin, the brush hairs literally just disperse and poof everywhere. So it's not a precise application, it's literally just dispersing all over the skin. And I feel like I have such a small face that when I apply blush, it gets higher than I want it to. So if I were to apply this in the apple of my cheek like this, you could see it gets kind of near my nose, it kind of gets near my eyes, and I don't like that. I kind of like something that will stay in place, and this isn't really it. Dual fiber brushes in general aren't my cup of tea. And you guys have been hearing me talk about this one, the Ulta Beauty Blush Brush, and I just ended up telling myself I don't like this because I just feel like it's not dense enough and it's way too flimsy to even be applying anything. So I thought to myself, okay, I could use this with something super powdery, maybe it'll pick it up and blend it out really good. And you know what? Even if it's something super pigmented, even though I'll use it with something that I use on a day-to-day basis, it just makes everything look a little bit more worse. So I just don't recommend it, and this was one of my first Ulta brushes, and I don't think that I would ever go out of my way to purchase Ulta brushes because of this little sample. And that, you guys, wraps up my entire hits and misses. This month was actually really short, and I know some of you guys love this little series that I have, but you know, unfortunately, this is all I got. So I hope you guys all really enjoy. If you have products that you loved or hated this month, I would love to know. You know, share the products with me as I'm sharing them with you, and I hope you guys all enjoy. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.